Get ready to jingle all the way as we count down the best and worst Christmas movies of 2024.
That's right. So Josh and I watched 25, yes, I counted 25 new Christmas movies this season. And let me just say, I think the 2024 season had some of my favorite movies we've recapped on the podcast so far, in now going into our 4th year of this show. So it's really hard to narrow down the nominees for these awards, but after thinking through what got a lot of gold and a lot of coal on our recaps throughout the season, we are ready.
So which Christmas movies do you think will take home the most awards? Comment below if you agree with our choices or tell us if we got it wrong. Grab some cocoa, cozy up by the fire, and let's unwrap it all on this, the 3rd annual Do You Watch What I Watch? Watchies.
Welcome to the 3rd annual Do You Watch What I Watch? Watchies. After the most magical of holiday movie seasons, let's pause to honor the best of the best. Now your hosts, Jennifer and Josh.
And here we are. It is the 3rd annual Do You Watch What I Watch? Watchies. And Jennifer, I think what you said at the top was so spot on. This was a really great crop of holiday movies we had this year.
I think so too. I saw a lot of hate online, and I mean, that's to be expected, I guess, but I was pleasantly surprised, and everything jingled my bells as a whole when I look back on this season.
If you will. And without further ado, let's dive into our very first category. This year we had an emerging theme, and we thought, hey, let's do a category around it because it was worth it. And so our very first category has to do with meddling parents.
The nominees for Most Meddling Parents: To Have and To Holiday, Christmas with the Sings, Holiday Mismatch.
And the very first watchie we're giving out goes to Have and To Holiday. This was a fun one.
It was fun, and I was definitely low on it in the preseason, which feels like we recorded the preseason reactions yesterday, but here we are, it's all over. But this one definitely took the cake with the dad. He was the pastor, making them go through marriage boot camp to see if they're worthy and all the things thereof. Definitely had to take the cake for me.
Yeah, and if you've not seen it, we think it was definitely worth the watch. We liked it as well overall as a movie, so there you go.
Next, the award for Steamiest Hot Cocoa. This is the award for the moments that it was more than just a friend kiss. It may have made us go auga with the cartoon eyes.
Yeah, not your typical Hallmark kiss is what we're getting at with this one.
The nominees for Steamiest Hot Cocoa: The Christmas Charade, The Santa Claus, Holiday Touchdown, A Chief's Love Story.
And the watchie for the Steamiest Hot Cocoa goes to the Santa Claus.
There.
I will say we had an eternal debate on this one. It was a little, we couldn't really decide. There were some steamy moments this season, but for me, it came down to the Santa Claus when Kimberly Sested and Benjamin Ayers had their first kiss at night, and then she goes to pick him up the next morning, and he gets in the car, and they kiss again. The double kiss? Come on now.
Yeah.
And I kept that cocoa in the microwave all night.
They did. And I had forgotten about that double kiss, but you're right. That was very much a point in that movie where we saw their relationship develop. Hey, Jennifer, what do you think makes the steamiest of hot cocos in a Hallmark movie?
Is this a joke? Like, are you sitting
No,
there?
not a joke. Legitimately. What sets this kind of kiss above the rest?
Have the chemistry. It has to be an earned relationship, as we say. It has to be believable, and just the fire. And I felt like they had fire behind them. That cocoa was not made with water and had been sitting out all day. It was nuked. It had extra marshmallows, maybe made with milk, and just really super steamy. What would you say makes a steamy hot cocoa?
I think you exactly said it. I think it's the earned nature of the relationship, and I think it is just kind of that moment that sort of catches you by surprise too, with its intensity, that I think makes it a steamy hot cocoa. So I think the surprise element sometimes can raise the steam factor, as it were. So there you go. So, if you've been with us for any time here on the podcast, there is a point in all of these that the end relationship is suddenly thrown into jeopardy. And we like to call it, Jennifer, the what?
The Oopsiedoodle.
And so our next watchie is for the biggest oopsie-doodle of the holiday season.
The nominees for Biggest Oopsie Doodle, Holiday Mismatch, The Christmas Quest, Holiday Crashers.
And the watchie for biggest oopsie-doodle goes to Holiday Mismatch. Jennifer, recap this oopsie-doodle for the people.
So this movie, if you didn't watch it or if you need a reminder, had the two aunts from Sabrina the Teenage Witch, right? And they were meddling moms. They'd set up their kids on this dating app, and turns out the kids match with each other, and they're like, "Oh no, you're the worst. You can't be with them." Ah." And they were kind of trying to break them up the whole time, and it ended up just bringing the kids closer together. I say kids, but these kids were like in their 20s, probably late 20s even. But there's at the end, they're at a big Christmas party because the ladies were kind of in charge of all the town Christmas events. And it comes out that the son was going to sell his improv theater and hadn't told the daughter or his, girlfriend in the movie. And then the moms just start like razzing on the whole relationship, and it all blows up in the middle of a community Christmas formal event at a bistro table, no less. I was embarrassed for him.
It was a lot. It was definitely a layered oopsie doodle, lots of different things sort of piling up, and it piled on pretty quickly. And I think it was definitely one that was a record scratch of a moment, which I think makes a good oopsie doodle. All right, Jennifer, what's next?
All right, next we're going to give out an award for the most bonkers slash out of the gift box, because bonkers, sometimes we say things are bonkers in a negative way. This doesn't mean that in this category. It's just bonkers as in it was a movie that was a little different. They were trying something new, maybe something we hadn't always seen before. So let's get to the nominees.
The nominees for Most Bonkers, or as we're calling it, Out of the Gift Box, Hot Frosty, Sugar Plummed, The Christmas Charade.
And the award for the most bonkers goes to the Christmas Charade.
There you go. And Jennifer, I was much higher on this movie than you were at the end of the day. I liked this one. This, if you've not seen it, is very much a Hallmark movie plus a Hallmark movie James Bond movie. It's not a James Bond movie plus a Hallmark movie. It's Hallmark movie plus Hallmark movie James Bond movie, because of course they had to dial down some of the peril and some of the stuff going on behind the scenes. But I thought this was a swing and a hit. I liked it because it was sort of a new kind of movie that had a fair amount of adventure, and I thought this would be the perfect one if you were having a date night with your significant other. Let's be honest, most of these viewers and these are women, and this might be a good one to kind of bring the man in your life to the table.
Yes, and let me be clear, I loved the swing for this movie. I don't know that the execution landed for me when they were rappelling down a building with candy cane striped rope. I'm sorry, it lost me a little bit. Josh was quoted saying, "This movie gave me everything I wanted," in a very hostile tone. If you haven't heard the episode, I think it was our most divisive review of this season for you and I. But
I
yes,
would agree.
definitely worthy of the most bonkers watchy. I agree.
There you go. All right. Now, we deal with a lot of adult actors, but there are some very talented kid actors who really can make these shine and bring a lot of fresh talent to the table. And so our next watchie is for Best Kid Actor.
The nominees for Best Kid Actor, Audrey Wines Alvarez, Scouting for Christmas, Isla Varro, Following Yonder Star, Miles Marthaler, Three Wiser Men and a Boy.
All right, Jennifer. And since we're talking about kids, I thought I would bring in a couple of mine. So here's one of them. Here's another one. That's not one of my kids. That's my wife. And so I thought Molly here
Thanks for the
could announce.
clarification.
Yeah, exactly. I thought Molly could announce the winner of the Kid Actor Watchie Award. Who is it, Molly? You forgot. It's
I love Varro.
I Love Brat. Great job, Molly. That was lovely.
Congratulations, Isla. She was great. She had to do a lot of emotional acting. She was also acting as somebody who's acting in a play in the movie, so, lots of layers there, and she was a precious little angel, literally dressed up like an angel.
I thought so too, and she wasn't too over the top. That can be the tendency sometimes with these kid actors is that they go way over the top and overact, and she didn't. She was great. So, there you have
Yeah.
it. Thanks, Molly. High five. Awesome.
Thanks, Molly. All right, if you've been around a while, you know that the movies make us laugh, but sometimes they make us cry, and sometimes they make one of us cry more than others. And I'm not saying any names, but their name rhymes with mosh. Okay, so this is the award for the highest cry count this season.
The nominees for highest cry count: A Christmas Less Traveled, A Dance in the Snow, Holiday Touchdown, A Chief's Love Story.
And the winner for the highest cry count goes to A Christmas Less Traveled from Great American Family.
Listen,
This one got us both.
This
Yeah.
one got us both. And if it got us both, that means it's got to have a pretty high cry count. And this one with Candace Cameron Bure really was such a well-told story, I thought. There were a lot of moments in it that were heart-wrenching and a lot of things that built to this end that I think is a really satisfying, heartfelt end. And if you've not seen it, I would wholeheartedly recommend it. It is worth it because it does sort of, I think, speak to a universal truth that is really, really needed in this time. So I loved it.
Same. And I don't actually know if I actually cried. I think I said I got the pre-cries. I got the burn of the pre-cry, but very close. There's a scene with her on a bench and some red balloons, and that's all I'll say. But it was so well done, so beautiful and poignant, and loved it. So it's worthy of the award.
Worthy of the award. All right, we're going to swing the pendulum from crying all the way to laughing because there can be some really funny moments in these, but some of these movies are all about the laugh. And so that's what this award is the biggest LOLs.
The nominees for biggest LOLs: Jingle Bell Run, Three Wiser Men and a Boy, Sugar Plumbed.
And so the watchie this year for the biggest LOLs goes to Three Wiser Men and a Boy. And I think it just had to be. It was great.
This was a tough category for me because I love the funny movies. I love the zany. I love townies. I love chaos. All three of these movies were in my top picks. I mean, they're so good. But Three Wiser Men and a Boy, I think, pound for pound, was funny the entire time and didn't take itself too seriously. There were some serious moments, but overall, lots of big laughs that are funny on repeat watches, which sometimes we don't get with these movies. So I think that made it stand out a little bit above some of the rest.
Exactly. Very well said. And I think the thing I also appreciate is that there were a lot of Easter eggs hidden in that, where if you had watched the previous one, it was a joke and a wink and a nod. And I thought that that just sort of raised the humor element to a really great place. All right, what's next?
The next on the list, we're giving out the watchie for the most surprising. We do a podcast when we get the synopses in the beginning of the season and we kind of make snap judgments. And a lot of times we get them wrong. And we are happy to admit that. So this is the award for a movie that we were kind of like, I don't know about that. And wowie zowie, we were surprised.
The nominees for most surprising: Following Yonder Star, Christmas on Call, Sugar Plumbed.
And the watchie for the most surprising movie goes to Christmas on Call. So good, so sweet. Takes place in Philadelphia. It's the EMT. He was what, an EMT worker and also a firefighter? He did both?
Yeah.
Versus the ER doctor and all the town building, all the people they come across. So cute.
Really.
What did you like about this movie?
I liked that there were layers to this movie. I liked that all the characters were intertwined, but you didn't get that at the onset. They sort of let that develop. I really liked the plot points with the police officers and their rekindled relationship. There was, their interactions with a couple of townies who had a dispute over Christmas decorations. Like, there were a lot of things to really enjoy about this movie. But this just goes to show you, when you read those plot synopses that show up on Hallmark.com, ahead of the season, you gotta remember, sometimes they're putting promotional effort behind 1 or 2 of these key movies that they're trying to hang the whole season on, and it might seem like a movie is filler, but it doesn't wind up being filler. It winds up being a really bright spot, and I think that was the case for all 3 of these movies that we mentioned here, but especially Christmas on Call.
Yes, and Sarah Canning was the lead actress here. We saw her last year in Holiday Road, and I think she surprised us 2 years in a row. So, note to self, if she's in a movie next year, we're not gonna downplay it. We're gonna build her up because she deserves it. And then we got to meet Sir Darius Blaine as the actor. Loved him. So, yes, kudos to Christmas on Call. Where are we going next?
Kudos indeed. We are on to relationships, and if you've been with us any amount of time, you know we love a relationship that we call earned, which means that when the movie's over, you feel like the relationship has taken you on a bit of a journey, that you've grown to sort of appreciate the development of the relationship, that these 2 have sort of actually fallen in love and not just been thrown together by circumstance, right? So this is the category for the most earned relationship.
The nominees for Most Earned Relationship: Santa Tell Me, Following Yonder Star, The Santa Class.
And the winner of most earned relationship is Aaron Krakow and Daniel Lissing from Santa Tell Me. Why is this an earned relationship for you, Jennifer? Go.
Well, I've never seen When Calls the Heart, but I knew enough about it to know that they were an all-star couple in earlier seasons, at least. I don't wanna say anything. I've said too much. There was already a foundation, they'd worked together in the past, but this movie, it shows her, kind of trying to find her, her guy, her Nick, he would be named Nick, and it ends up at the end, the reveal that it was Daniel Lissing's character all along. They're at the train station, and it's smoky, and it's just so emotional, and they connected on all different levels throughout. I just thought it was really heartfelt. What about you?
Same for me. I just really liked seeing them together, and I bought their chemistry in this way where I got the sense that they're friends and they really respect each other as actors, and they really do a good job of playing off of each other and letting the other person shine at the right time. And I think that that is really credit to their expertise in this particular genre, and I just thought they were great.
Very good. Moving on, we're gonna go to the award for the loudest sad trombone. Listen, we try to keep it light and fun around here, but sometimes the instruments are just out of tune in the Christmas movie band. And it had to be said. So these movies didn't quite um hit the pitch for us. I was trying to think of other musical things to say, but here's the award for the loudest sad trombone.
The nominees for Loudest Sad Trombone: My Sweet Austrian Holiday, Happy Holidays, A 90s Christmas.
And the award goes to A 90s Christmas. It's weird to have a positive inflection on a negative award, but
Exactly.
just and maybe Josh and I are, the few that did not like this movie. I saw a lot of people really loved it. For me, and I think for you, I'll let you speak in a minute. It just, we were so hyped for the nostalgia of the 90s. They could have done so much with it, with the makeup and the wardrobe and the Easter eggs and the winks and the nods. And they started off strong, and then it just kind of petered out, and it could have been any old movie. And it, to me, wasn't even one that was so bad it was good. It was just boring. Like, at least if you're going to be bad, make me laugh, like one of these other movies on this list. But this one was bad and boring, which is about as low as you can get for me. What about
Yeah.
you?
You really said it. I think it was a missed opportunity. They could have done so much more than they did in terms of the winks and the nods that would really have made this about the 90s. At the end of the day, it was just this movie should have just been called A Christmas because it was not really 90s. I mean,
Any old Christmas.
there was this time travel element that just didn't really go very far. It was just kind of, as we would say, a loud trombone. So there you have it. Better luck next season. We'll see. Anyway, there you go. All right, we're going to move on, and we've got most Christmas magic. At the end of the day, we love the magic of the season. We love everything that makes you feel warm and fuzzy. And so we've got a category here for the most Christmas magic.
The nominees for Most Christmas Magic: Santa Tell Me, The Santa Class, Sugar Plumbed.
And the watchie for most Christmas magic goes to Santa Tell Me. Great movie, Jennifer.
Great movie, great magic. We've said before, if you're going to give me a magic, don't just give me a sprinkle. Let's lean into it. And all three of these movies did just that. But this one especially, when you have a letter that you find in your childhood home that you're somehow, reunited with for your TV show that's going to premiere on Christmas Eve and it's glowing. Come on. How much more magic do you need? Or like we said on our podcast, maybe you need to get your brain checked. But, neither here nor there. We're leaning into the Christmas magic of it all. What did you love about this movie?
I think it was the magical letter for sure. And I loved sort of the play-by-play of it all. When she's meeting the Nicks in the very beginning, how it all just sort of feels very circumstantial and magically kind of put together. I just thought it was really a fun watch from start to finish.
Agreed. Love that. All right. Next, we're going to move on to the watchie for Best Production Value. And here are the nominees.
The nominees for Best Production Value: Holiday Touchdown, A Chief's Love Story, The Christmas Quest, Jingle Bell Run.
And the Watchie Award for Best Production Value goes to The Christmas Quest. It had to be. Come on. They were on location in Iceland with, middle of nowhere footage of them with full camera rigs, climbing in caves and other Icelandic things that I don't know what they're called, but they were there, they were doing it, and it was beautiful. Come on, Hallmark, with the budget.
And not just that, it also had this sort of Legends of the Hidden Temple element going on too. So they weren't just standing in front of some fjord, and it was beautiful, yes. But there were also these sets that had to be intricately designed and had to have sort of these props and moving elements and all this other stuff. They really put in the time and invested it in this movie with Lacey Chabert and Christopher Palaha that I just thought was a really fun watch. It kind of did what Christmas Charade didn't do, I think, for you, Jennifer, if I'm hearing you correctly. Like, it gave you that adventure and that peril element without it being too much. Am I reading you right on that?
I would say yes. Yeah, this one was just wrapped up a little bit better. And also you had the church scene, you had the Northern Lights CGI stuff. But overall, they could have CGI'd the crap out of this movie and they didn't. So you get that scene of them sneaking into that ball and they're in these beautiful tuxedos and ball gowns that are so perfectly perfect. And you get they're looking for the door in the basement of whatever it was, the museum and all that stuff. All of that checked all the boxes for me. So congratulations to them.
We are getting into the categories now as we sort of near the end of the watchies, where we are going to celebrate the actors and the actresses who make all of this happen. And the first category that we've got here are the best supporting actor / actress. And I think, Jennifer, when we're talking about this category, we're really trying to recognize these actors that are the scene stealers, right? They're not the ones that are at the top of the bill, right? They're not the ones on the poster, but they're the ones that have a knack for stealing the scene.
The nominees for Best Supporting Actor or Actress: Daniela Monet, Holiday Crashers, Trevor Lerner, The Santa Class, Vanessa Burkhart, A Dance in the Snow.
And all three of these were great in these roles for sure. So good. But the watchie goes to Trevor Lerner, The Santa Claus, a repeat winner here on the watchies, if you were.
I was thinking about this earlier. I was like, next year, should we just call it the Trevor Lerner Award?
We should. The Trevor Lerner Best Supporting Actor Award. It's that good.
Yes. He's so good. Yes, we gushed over him and his appearance in Holiday Road last year. Made me bawl like a baby in that movie. This year, his performance in The Santa Claus didn't make me cry. I don't think it was supposed to, but it made me feel lots of things, and I laughed, and I believed he was Santa Claus by the end of the movie. I bought it. He was so precious. What did you think?
Perfect Santa, start to finish. Great in a Hallmark movie. Period.
Yeah, more Trevor Lerner. We will.
Please.
All right, next up, we've got the award for the actress to watch. Now, some of these ladies have been in more movies than others, but for us, it kind of came down to when we see them on screen, we want more. and we hope to get it. So here are the nominees.
The nominees for Actress to Watch: Hunter King, Anuha Joshi, Amy Groening.
And the award for Actress to Watch goes to Amy Groening. So good to see her. You know, she was one of the girlfriends in the Sansa Summit last year, and we loved all three of those ladies. So glad they cast her as the leading lady in 'Twas the Day Before Christmas this year. Want to see more of her. What did you think?
Believable, heartfelt, girl next door, great. I think she sort of really symbolizes that sweet spot of a familiar Hallmark kind of actress, but also kind of a new generation of Hallmark actress. And I think that
Mhm.
that's what really brings her appeal to the table. So love
Some
her.
fresh faces. Love it.
Yes, yes. All right, we're going to move along now to actor to watch. So these are the guys that we're keeping an eye on who might soon become Hallmark leading men of their own.
The nominees for Actor to Watch: Sir Darius Blaine, Jordan Litz, Evan Roderick.
And the watchy goes to Evan Roderick. Great actor. We liked him last year, liked him this year too.
Yeah, last year he was in Still with the List. This year it was Leah's Perfect Gift. Didn't like his character all the time this year in this movie, but he is just captivating. He's effortlessly cool in his delivery of lines, and you just kind of want to be friends with him. So I'd love to see him back.
Yeah, I think he's very believable. Again, it's that guy next door could live right next to you, but kind of has a different sort of feel as a Hallmark leading man. I think he's great. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Next up, we're going to give out the Watchy for Best Male Lead. All of these are heavy hitters. There is no loser here. But only one stole the scenes, maybe more than another to us this year. Let's find out who it is.
The nominees for Best Male Lead: Christopher Palaha, The Christmas Quest; John Brotherton, Following Yonder Star; Benjamin Ayers, The Santa Claus.
And the Watchy for Best Male Lead goes to John Brotherton. Come on. His scene of him praying out loud to God in Following Yonder Star. So good, so elevated, so sincere. I bought every word of it.
I did too. And I think that that role also required him to sort of be goofy because he was nervous about her and I think sort of had feelings and all of that. So had a lot of range in this piece. And you and I were both a little about this Dayspring movie when we drafted it. And then I think we were both pleasantly surprised at how great it actually was. I would wholeheartedly recommend it for a watch. It was that good.
Yep.
All right.
Agreed.
Moving on now. We talked about the actors. Now to the best actresses.
The nominees for Best Female Lead: Jenna Claire Mason, A Carol for Two; Erin Crackaw, Santa Tell Me; Janelle Parrish, Sugar Plumbed.
All of them fantastic, Jennifer. Let's just get that out of the way. But the watchy goes to Janelle Parrish in Sugar Plum. And I just thought she knocked it out of the park, right? This role could have been overplayed and could have been annoying, but I think she really hit that sweet spot of magical, but also sort of realistic. And we got to see her character evolve as it went. What did you think?
She is Sugar Plum or Sue Garplume. I mean, she is that character. I would be very happy if they did another Sugar Plum last year where she goes to a different family or a different kind of scenario. I would watch 1,000 more Sugar Plum movies. I thought she was perfectly cast. And again, she's another one. We've seen her in the past. We've always liked her. More of her, please. More, more, more. Loved it. All right. We put the call out to you guys to give out the fan favorite award. Again, this is not for every Christmas movie that aired in 2024. This is for the 25 that Josh and I recapped and watched together on the podcast this season. We asked you what your favorite award was, and let me tell you, the results weren't even close.
Landslide.
The winner was a landslide. And the winner of fan favorite watchy goes to The Christmas Quest, starring Christopher Balaha and Lacey Chabert. You guys love this movie, and I think it's earned. Yeah.
For good reason, too. It was great. A great story, great location, great production value. Really sort of had some
Leads.
adventure to it. The leads were great. It was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
There you go.
All right.
So with just a few minutes left, Jennifer and I thought we would give you our top 5 of the season. And these are the ones that we would recommend you go back and watch. Some overlap here, but some differences too, because we each have our own personal flavor. So my top 5 are number 5, The Santa Claus. Number 4, Santa Tell Me. Number 3, Following Yonder Star. Number 2, A Carol for Two with Jenna Claire Mason. Come on. Love her. And then number 1 for me was Sugar Plummed. I just love that movie through and through. Your top 5, Jennifer?
I'm happy with all your top 5, and mine are some similar, a little different, like you said. Number 5, Christmas on Call. Number 4, Carol for Two. Number 3, The Santa Claus. Number 2, Sugar Plummed. And number 1 was Jingle Bell Run. Andrew Walker and Ashley Williams are on my Mount Rushmore of Hall stars anyways. They'd never been together in a movie. You guys saw my reaction live when we found out they were in a movie together. I was excited, and it did not disappoint. So it gets my top spot for the season.
Did not. And by the way, if you want to hear directly from the writers of Jingle Bell Run, we had a great episode where we got the chance to chat with them earlier this season. And they are just delightful people and really gave us a great insight into what it takes to make one of these. So go back and listen to that too if you haven't heard that particular episode. And there you have it. The 3rd annual Watchies have been announced. The trade publications, no doubt, have been waiting with bated breath to hear what we would say. And we are so pleased that it has been another successful holiday movie season. But, there's more to come. Because if you can believe it, season 4 of Do You Watch What I Watch is just around the corner, Jennifer.
That's right. We're going to take the rest of January off from movie reviews, but we'll be back in February to talk about a new Hallmark movie starring Lacey Chabert and Robert Buckley, 2 Hall stars. And here's the plot summary for An Unexpected Valentine. A chance encounter on Valentine's Day brings Hannah and Finn together as they race through New York City to return a lost engagement ring and save one couple's special day, and we will have much to discuss. But until then,
May your days be merry and bright. We will see you very soon.